Hi there, welcome to our IB Biology Revision series on water section A1.1. So, the medium of life. Water with substances dissolved in it is termed an aqueous solution. A medium is something in which processes occur. There are 8 processes of life that happen in the water. Water is a solvent. So, for example, it makes up the fluid in the cytoplasm of cells and is found between cells of multicellular organisms. So the structure and polarity of water molecules. So for this section, hydrogen bonds as a consequence of the polar covalent bonds within water molecules. Students should understand that polarity of covalent bonding within water molecules is due to unequal sharing of electrons, and hydrogen bonding due to this polarity occurs between water molecules. Students should be able to represent 2 or more water molecules and hydrogen bonds between them with the notion shown below to indicate polarity. So the O stands for oxygen, it's got a delta negative, and then the 2 hydrogens which are bonded to it show delta positive. So, as water is in a covalent bond, one of the atoms have a slight positive charge and the other has a slight negative charge. Molecules with polar covalent bonds have polarity. Water molecules are polar. An intermolecular bond can form between the positive pole of one water molecule and the negative pole of another water molecule. This is called a hydrogen bond. So water molecules stick to each other because of the hydrogen bonds that form between them. Strong pulling forces are exerted to the tops of the tallest trees in tubular xylem vessels. Because of the cohesion resulting from hydrogen bonds, the columns of water molecules in their vessels rarely break despite powerful suction forces. Polar and charged materials are hydrophilic. Polar substances such as cellulose in plant cells' walls form hydrogen bonds with water. Cell walls tend to remain saturated with water and draw more water in. For example, when water evaporates from a leaf. Capillary action is water being drawn through narrow spaces because it adheres to surfaces. Water moves through pores in dry soils by this process because the solids in the soil and particles of silt and clay are hydrophilic. Therefore, water can move upwards. So, the solvent properties of water. A wide range of hydrophilic molecules and ions dissolve in water. Polar molecules dissolve by forming hydrogen bonds with water. Most chemical reactions in cells are catalyzed by enzymes and take place in aqueous solution, which allows enzymes and substrates to move. If a substance is not hydrophilic, it's said to be hydrophobic. This does not mean that it is repelled by water. However, the water molecules are more strongly attracted to each other than non-polar molecules of hydrophobic substances. Hydrophobic substances are insoluble in water. They form a barrier to water and hydrophilic substances. For example, the wax on surfaces of leaves and oils in human skin are hydrophobic to prevent dehydration. The physical properties of water. Buoyancy. Solids float in fluid if their density is lower. The seal's density is close to that of seawater, so it can float easily. The loom's density is higher than air, so it has to beat its wings to remain airborne. So viscosity, resistance to flow in the fluid is due to cohesion between molecules. Water has a high viscosity, and this is due to hydrogen bonding. The seal has to overcome resistance when it swims in water compared to the loon flying in air. Thermal conductivity, the ability of the material to transfer heat. Water's thermal conductivity is higher than air, and for example, a seal would be at risk of hypothermia. Specific heat capacity, the quantity of heat needed to raise the temperature of a gram of material by 1 degree. Water heats up and cools down more slowly compared to air. This means freshwater habitats are more thermally stable. The extraplanetary origin of water on Earth. This is for higher level students only, so if you're doing the ASL diploma, you don't need to cover this. Earth was formed from gas and dust approximately 4.5 billion years ago. The main hypothesis is that water was brought to Earth when asteroids containing ice collided with Earth. The ice melted, adding to the volume of fluid in the growing oceans. 2 factors which promote the retention of water on Earth is the strong gravitational pull due to the size of the Earth and the intensity of sunlight due to the distance from the sun. So, the search for extraterrestrial life. Water is the main medium for all species on Earth. For water retention, the planet needs to be large for gravity to be a strong force and have warm temperatures to melt the ice. The concept of the Goldilocks zone, which is a distance range from a star, keeps temperatures between 0 and 100 degrees Celsius. Thank you very much for listening to this section on A1.1. We will be adding further revision videos into our IB Biology revision series.